Hello there.
Well, hello there, troopers, and welcome back to General Kenobi's Bunker. Thank you so much for joining us on another, you know what? Scratch that, on the last, for now, episode of the Tortuga Talk.
That's
And
right.
this is our show where we try to predict what is going to happen in the next, in this particular case, the last episode of the hit show Skeleton Crew. With me, always my partner in crime, Mike from the Dad Vader. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Uh, is it Friday yet? I feel like this has been a
Right?
long week and we just started.
I know. I hear you on that one.
Trying to spread the word here, get people
Nice,
involved
nice.
here. Just drop it on the
Sounds good.
socials.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, man, we are at the end of the road for the Skeleton Crew, right? So just in case you guys don't know, Skeleton Crew is only 8 episodes. We've had 7 so far, which means that in just about 24 hours, we're gonna be probably watching the end credits. For the last episode of I'm just gonna say for the last episode of the season. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a second season here.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, if they don't give us the one thing that we want, they
Yeah.
have to give it to us in season 2, which maybe that's their plan all along. Just reel them
Exactly.
in. We got
Yeah, right. They might try to pull, I hate to draw comparisons, but they might try to pull an acolyte when they're like, dropping the cameos on the last episode.
Very
But
true.
I will say this though, I am a bit surprised that we haven't had an actual confirmation, for a season 2. I I don't know. I honestly thought we were gonna hear something before the show was over. Um, I'm kind of inclined to say that we're gonna hear something fairly soon. Um, but like I said, I thought we were gonna hear, something for sure for last episode, like around that period of time. We haven't, or not yet anyway. And like I said, this show, the last episode drops tomorrow. So, they could still pull a fast one on us. And tomorrow morning, they're like, oh, by the way, we are getting a season 2. Um, but it's just a little bit, it's just a little bit surprising that to me that we haven't heard it. Taking into account, of course, that this show has been very popular from the very beginning. And, the ratings have been doing great. My understanding is that the viewership has been doing good for Disney Plus.
Yep.
And these characters have definitely grown on the fandom, and we kind of want to see more, right? So
Definitely.
I don't know, it kind of makes sense, but
That's why it's kind of like, is it a kind of a strategy here to where
Could be.
the season is doing good, but maybe not as good? So that's why, like in midway, they're like, "Hey, guess what? Season 2, make sure you're
Yep.
keeping up with everything." But with this
Very
one,
true.
it's doing so well, they could be like, tell them in 6 months we'll do a season 2, maybe."
Very true.
just-
Very, very true. And the thing is, they probably have another banger, coming down the tube with Andor season 2, right? I think that's one of the most anticipated, Star Wars projects to date, right? Especially the ones under Disney for sure. When it comes to Disney Plus shows, right? I think Andor season 2 is pretty up there. Not gonna lie, like it's pretty up there. I think in terms of the expectations, right, being thrown at it too. Um, Probably, I would say comparable at this point with what Mando season 2 was, back then. Like the hype was nuts for Mando season 2. A lot of people don't remember that much. It seems like it was so long ago, and it was only what, like 3 years ago,
3,
4 years ago, yeah, 4 years ago maybe by now.
getting close to 4, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
uh,
that's ancient. That's ancient
dude,
history,
right?
man.
It
It's
seems like
so long ago.
we've come such a long way since then. But yeah, people forget that that's all we had at one point was Mando, right? And
Put it on his back, carry the
oh,
franchise.
dude, yeah, and he did so great, at least at that point. And season 2 of Mando was like the hype was nuts, right? It was almost like a new movie being released. But so yeah, I feel that Andor season 2 is just about the only one that's sort of recreating that, in terms of, again, of just the hype of the fandom to be there. So you might be right. They're like, you know what, we're good for at least a couple months, right? We don't gotta drop anything, major right now, or any major news. We got them hooked with Skeleton Crew. They're watching right now. they're definitely gonna watch Andor season 2. We got them hooked with that Mando movie, coming up next year. So they're like, all right, we'll give him something maybe later in the year to like, keep up the hype.
Fan
Uh,
the flame just a little bit. You don't want to get too spicy.
and that's when maybe we hear about a season 2 of Skeleton Crew, which again I feel like we're gonna hear before, right? Um, and if
Now we could
not,
watch this, and there could be a seismic charge at the last second. It wipes out the entire planet,
very
and
much
there is
so.
no season 2, right? I mean, that
Exactly. They're
could
like,
happen,
oh,
but
by the way, did we tell you that all those gases they're flammable, around the
extremely
planet?
flammable.
Boom. Sort of forgot to tell you about that, when we put giant sparklers all around it too. But
Mhm.
it happened, and that's how the New Republic, goes bankrupt. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, well, you know what? Before we jump right into it, let's acknowledge here the chat because you guys are on fire already, even though it's
Oh,
Monday night. We always appreciate you, Bunker Bunch, hanging out here with us. Like I said, this is technically the last episode of the Tortuga Talk. All I can guarantee is that it's probably gonna be the last one for the year, since we won't get any more Skeleton Crew this year. We might do like a special one if we do hear about a season 2, and maybe we come back here, for nostalgia's sake, and maybe try to predict an overall season 2, plot, and see how well we do, in a couple of years when the show drops.
could be
um
45 minutes of me just reenacting season
hey,
1.
I'm all for it. By the way, I just noticed that you got the squad together there, so kudos
Got
to
2
you,
I need to
man.
open up, but we're gonna take our time on that. I'm so behind on opening stuff.
Oh, dude. So I've been I've told y'all I've been sort of trying to clean up, reorganize some of the boxes and stuff like that around here in the house. I literally put two containers together of stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, I bought this to open it, like specifically to open it. And so it's a bunch of stuff. Obviously, a lot of stuff, the grand majority of it's Star Wars, but I do have a little bit of Marvel, a little bit of like other stuff that I picked up here and there. That again I meant to open, do a quick review here on the channel, uh, and it never got done. So now I got like 40 things that I need to open. So which is good, at least I have a little bit of content for the channel. But at the same time, like when am I gonna catch up?
Ross
Uh,
was just too good. They were
yeah,
too
dude.
good to
Oh
us.
man, for sure, for sure. Oh, let me show you something here. So I'm gonna give you guys a little preview to the toy hunt that drops tomorrow. By the way, I did tell y'all I did find some good stuff on clearance at Target, so I picked up this guy,
Oh, yeah.
called Band 750. Come on, man, all day.
And that's the fully decked out,
Exactly.
armor one, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
dang.
So I want to open this one up because I kind of want to put it all together, with the helmet, the jetpack, even the missile is
Mhm.
separate, which I thought was a pretty cool detail. Uh,
Yeah, for 3 and
overall,
3
it's
quarter,
actually
that's really
yeah,
good.
yeah. Overall, it's in pretty good shape. The card
A
is a
little
little
flex.
bent, nothing too bad. There is a crease here. I'm just pointing out like little flaws, but again, for 750, dude, can't beat that. Um,
I have it in the 6-inch Black Series, and I
yeah,
have him,
same.
with all the stuff, but I have him holding the helmet.
Holding the helmet. Well, it's funny you say that because I found my copy that I was going to open at some point like 2 years ago. So now I got to crack that one open. Um, and so I don't know, maybe I'll do like a double, unboxing of cop bands, like 3.75 and 6-inch. Because like I said, I do have it now, identified which one I was going to open.
I shall
And
call
then,
him Mini Me. You put him together.
exactly. And then keeping up with the clearance finds at Target, I found this guy's also for 750. It was like a theme, I guess. Um, so I got the BD Pops for
Oh,
Star
yeah.
Wars. This one is the one, speaking of, called Banth, and we also got the Boba rearmored, from Book of Boba Fett. So this is like the Book of Boba Fett little set. However, to my surprise, there was new wave of BD Pops for Star Wars, but they were also ringing up at 750. So I think somebody, fumbled the coding there for the
Mhm.
prices. But hey, happy accident in my book. So I picked up this guys,
Nice.
which are based on the Empire Strikes Back. Focus. There we go. So we got Vader, Empire Strikes Back. We got Lando, and I wish the camera could zoom in more, but this is Luke in Dagobah, and I want to try, but there's a little bitty Yoda on his back. It is insane, dude. Like I love that. He's super tiny. So I did want to get the. So this is the new wave, right? I did want to get this set with Boba and the Snow Trooper. I think this one's pretty good. And then there's of course there's Yoda and the Wampa, right? So they're pretty good, based off of the Empire Strikes Back. But I think this one would have been my top pick, but it wasn't there, so I got this one. But again, these are new, and so it ranked for 750. So I was like, I'll take it. And as you guys know, this is about the only one where Funko has actually gotten me. Like this was my kryptonite. The minis with the actual little stackable, collectors, like little boxes. I'm a sucker for miniatures, so I did pick those up. Again, that's gonna be in the toy hunt. Ooh, almost dropped it. That's
I've
gonna be
been
in the toy
watching a
hunt.
lot of people's tour, like their room tour.
Yeah,
And one thing that we all suffer is space. So those mini ones are so perfect because they
exactly.
take up this much space for 20 of them. And it's like, why not?
And that's the thing, that's how they got me too, because you can stack them, right? They're designed to be stacked, so you can have a very small wall, but like you said, you could probably have like 40 of them in like a 10-inch space. So
You
I'm
could
like,
keep them
dang
in
it,
your
man.
pocket if you wanted to. They're that small.
Very much
Check out
so.
my collection.
Yeah, exactly. But bam, dude, remember we used to do that with like, oh, we almost dropped it again. With like the pucks and stuff, like you would be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, dude, I got.
What are those things called? Pogs, where you
Yeah,
slam them? Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I used to have my Yu-Gi-Oh deck on me. Quick draw.
Ooh, I was gonna
There
say,
you
man, you
go.
were, certifiable madman right there. Always ready to go. All right, so now let me jump into the chat, and again, I appreciate y'all joining us. Oh, what is this? What is this? What do my little eyes see display as a username here? So this is Jeff, first of all, but dude, this is your OG account. Did you get it back? Let us
Rebrand the
know. Did
name
you?
or
Well, no. The thing is, he was Star Wars Addict 77 for a long time, and then last year, um, I think he got either reported or he got like into like YouTube jail. So he lost it. He told me he couldn't get it back, and this was like months ago.
oh,
So
okay. Well, dang.
that's crazy, Jeff. First of all, is it you, Jeff? I hope it's you, and somebody didn't just like outright
Hacked it.
copied everything. But I hope you got it back, man. Mike saying hello there. Pulling double duty. We got our friend Nilda from Appetite from Collectibles saying LFG. Let's do this. Once again, congratulations to both Nilda and Tiara for an amazing weekend. And also, shameless plug, they are going to be joining us here in the bunker Wednesday night, this time, 8:30. Come check it out. We're going to hear all about their amazing weekend at Fan Expo New Orleans. Um, Little spoiler alert, they got to meet a certain golden protocol droid uh, from a galaxy far, far away. So,
I
yeah.
don't know if I'm more excited about that or hearing about the beignets
Oh,
because
dude, that exactly. I was like, oh, please tell me they were magical. Um,
they're both
also,
golden and
also,
delicious.
you know which one is my again spoiler alert, but probably my favorite part? Manny Jacinto. Ooh,
Oh,
ooh.
oof. I got
Seriously, I was.
goosebumps watching him
Yeah,
sign
dude.
stuff.
Oof. Seriously. We got Ultracard in the house. Hey, everyone. Sorry I can't join the live watching Monday Night Raw on Netflix today. No worries, brother. So I'll see you guys next time when I have the chance. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for checking in, though, and enjoy that Monday Night Raw. Now on Netflix, apparently. That's what I hear.
It's a
Uh,
new era for them. It started I think
last week it
last
was?
week, I
Yeah.
think. If you get a chance, go and watch the opening monologue done by Triple H.
Oh, yeah?
Beautiful.
Nice. Interesting. Marta saying hi, welcome. We got Sexy Flexi in the house saying hello there, homies. What's going on, brother? Elijah, appreciate you joining, man. Thank you. We got Rob Zombie Hunter was saying, "Hey guys, what's up? What's up? Thank you so much for joining." Luis also joining us in the stream. Black Star 9. Pablo saying, "Hello there. What's going on, brother? Welcome. Thank you for joining up." Zombie saying hi to Black Star and Luis. Star Wars Addict. Oh, it is you, bros.
He's out of jail.
Congrats.
All right.
We found the button right here. All right. Congratulations, dude. Finally, bro. That's crazy. That is crazy, dude. I'm glad you got it back, dude. Because yeah, I would be so ticked off if somebody took me down like that. But I'm glad, brother. Hey, Addict says, Rob says, Addict. Elijah saying, Zombie. What's up, mate? We got Chris from the Nerd Squadron. Is it's the super chat time or nah, bro? Seriously, appreciate y'all, but no, you don't got to do that, man. Thank you, though. Zombie Hunter says, why were you in YouTube jail? What's up, hermanos? What's going on, brother? How's your Monday night going, man? Coming hot off a crazy weekend, I'm sure. Rob saying, "Hey, nerd, what's up?" Zombie says, "Nerd." Zombie Hunter says, "Never mind." Jeff saying, "I wish I knew." LOL. Neil Das saying hi to Nerd Squadron. There's Hermanas in here too. Ugh, male dominated fandom. Yikes. Shots fired. Just kidding, but you know we love you. Come on now.
Actually, if you get to watch their panel, I mean, I know they'll talk about it coming up here Wednesday, but if you haven't watched it before the show, go check it out. They did a pretty good job.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, that's a good point. Let me see if I can find a link for them and drop it here in the chat. We'll do that in a little bit. But yeah, definitely go check out their panel from Fan Expo New Orleans. It was pretty good. Let me see if I can find it here quick. I think pretty sure it was a live stream. Nope. What is this? What is going on? Okay. I think Tiara had it.
I believe I forgot whose page it was on, but I watched it. I missed the live, but I got the rewatch.
Oh, did you? Okay. So I'm gonna drop here in the chat. This is on Tiara's channel, Crafting on Ilm. That should be the live stream when they were doing the panel. So make sure you check that out. I need to finish it. I only watched a chunk of it. To Zombie Hunter say maybe it was a rubber blaster, right? Hey, Appetite says Rob. Nerd Squad says Appetite collector. My fault. 100% right, Hermana. There you go. Corrected. Hello, gang. Zombie Chris. Neil the sexy flexy says Mike the Dad Vader. Chris saying, my fault. You're right. I think that was a repeat. Got Rob saying, hey, Dad Vader. You got Neil the saying, hi, Dad Vader. We got Zombie saying, nice, General. Zombie saying, hey, Flex. Sorry, bro. Didn't see you there. No worries, mate, says Elijah. Rob says, I've been picking up figures like crazy lately. Ooh, what'd you get? Jeff says, yeah, I kept sending their AI tool info each week. They finally gave it back to me. Oh, nice, dude. I'm glad, bro. I'm glad. Oh, what is up? We got our brother Archer in the house. Hey, everyone. Is Skeleton Crew over yet? You're almost there, brother. We're almost to the finish line. You are not going to have to put up with it any longer until season 2, of course. Nice, Jeff says. Rob Neil says, I'm so happy WWE is on Netflix. Nice. I'm glad you all are enjoying it. Nerd Squad says appetite for collectibles. Pentas. Sorry. Debut though. Elijah says, welcome home from the joint. Star Wars Addict 77. Not much. Yeah, right. Aboard the Venator in the house. What is going on, brother? Welcome. Saying hello there. Hey, Venator, says Rob. Hey. Me dropping the link that we just talked about and saying sup ATV, which stands for Aboard the Venator, in case you didn't know. So welcome, man. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so as I was saying at the beginning, we are down to our very last episode of Skeleton Crew. Last episode of the show, technically, at this point. Last episode of the season. I'm gonna keep saying that because I'm pretty sure we'll get another one. So we're gonna have what I'm gonna call a season finale tomorrow. Like I said, in about, what is it now, 23 hours. So in about 23 hours, they will be dropping the last episode 8. Let's start there. Actually, how do you feel about this show being 8 episodes?
I feel like we just started,
Right?
so it's weird too because they give us like they start off almost an hour. We'll round up to an hour, and then they don't even get close to the 30-minute mark.
No,
It's like, hey,
they
here's a little
don't.
teaser, some
Yeah,
breadcrumbs. Yeah, have some, and it's not enough. Like
I
if we
hear you.
got 8 episodes of 45 minutes to an hour, that's my only gripe on some of these things is that they're just too short and they're good too. It's like, oh man, you gave us like a solid good 15 minutes of stuff I really wanted to see, and that's it. And I'm having to wait till the next week for an extra 5 minutes or maybe in less. Like it's not enough. That's my only gripe with this.
I agree, and I think that's actually been sort of the common complaint that I've seen. They're like, dude, not enough has happening. Not enough stuff is going on. We've all heard from the Evan Cinder when it comes to that. Our brother Archer is kind of on the same boat actually. Uh, but we got Tony making his entrance. What is going on, brother? Thank you so much, man.
Hello there.
Appreciate you, brother. Saying
We need to
what's
get
up,
like
man.
the
Nice
royal
speaking.
trumpets for him when he makes his appearance, and
Dude,
just that's it.
seriously,
He's the
I'm
only
gonna have
one that
to.
gets the button.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm gonna have to start upping my sound cues here. My game needs to step it up. But I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for that super chat, man. Really appreciate you, brother. Elijah saying, "Hey, Sid." Flex says Tony. Oh, Vor the banner saying, "What's up, Sid?" ATV says Tony T Dog, you the boss. Absolutely, absolutely. Um, Also, I would like to remind everybody to go ahead and hit that like button here on the stream. Let's show that crazy mythical YouTube algorithm know that we are doing a great job here on a Monday night. Um, Rob saying hi to Tony, and we got Nerd Affiliated says, I do want to note that I didn't want to hate the show. I tried. Yeah, I know, brother. You gave it the old college try. Um, but yes, so going back to the whole it's only 8 episodes, right? um I kind of feel, at least from what I think, from what we've seen, I think 10 episodes, I would say, is about the sweet spot, because we've seen shows go up to 12 and 13 episodes, and they kind of suffered from that too, right?
Yep.
Because it was on the opposite side, where some of them were too long or too pointless, let's call them. They were kind of just fillers, right? So it's like you get a short episode where you don't get enough action, or you get a long episode or a whole episode where you just don't get advancement to the story too. So that's why I venture to say that about 10 episodes seems to be like a good balance, for most of these stories, for most of these shows. Yes, I understand each episode is like crazy expensive, right? Um, but we're looking at it from the consumer side. So, what would we like to see? What do we think is fair? What do we think is good or bad, right? So, again, I've never produced a show, so I couldn't tell you, which one was more expensive than others. I can tell you in Skeleton Crew, though, very definitely which ones look more expensive than others. That's something that I
Yep.
feel in this show. It was pretty like you can pinpoint it, like pretty well, like, right? Because again, like episode one, right, like you said, they gave us a big episode. That first opening sequence, with the pirates war and everything, that was beautiful, that was great. And then it just goes away, right? It all comes down to the suburbia and the bikes, and you got the buses, like stuff like that. So you're like, all right, so they blew the budget on those first 30 seconds of the show. They're like, all right, we got to tone it down for the rest. Episode two, that's when they get to Tortuga, right? And they got all the aliens, all the ships, you know, all the fighting and stuff like that. And that one was like what, like 20 some minutes? And I'm like, all right, there goes the budget for that one. And the following one, we almost saw like no ships, almost no characters, so you can tell, right? Like where, but they gotta like self-regulate and balance. Obviously, not every single episode can be as visually stunning, or have as many characters and stuff, which I ventured to say most of them could, because when you got a pirate, story, you can have a ton of characters like every single time, right? But going back to it, yes, I think on this one we can all tell which ones were the expensive ones, or at least the ones that looked expensive, and which ones were not, right?
You ever
So,
see those memes where it's like you have $20 to build like your top team, and it's like tier one is like the $8,
oh yeah,
tier two is like the four, and like so on and so on. I feel like sometimes the shows like this, like top tiers, like excellent story writing, like $12. So a lot of the as they're doing the film, they're like, well, let's not worry about that. Let's do some visual and
exactly.
do some fighting and like
Yep.
and really bad joke. All right, perfect. Like that's a
Yeah.
great episode.
Yeah.
Uh,
Exactly.
so it does feel like that sometimes when you're watching this. And then another thing, which I think is kind of weird, like you're talking, like we don't produce shows. This is kind of a weird medium to be in, like streaming shows when everybody's so used to binge watching stuff. Like
Yeah.
that definitely has to play a factor into us watching. Like if they had released it all at once and we binge watched it, certain people may enjoy it way more because
Agreed.
they're able to go through it straight and it's
Agreed.
a more cohesive, like, hey, I sat down for 5 hours, I watched everything, and
Exactly.
everything just blended really well. When you sit on it for a period of time, you kind of lose a little bit of momentum, and so it doesn't really gel as good as I think it could. So I will say this till I'm blue in the face. After the end of it, go watch it again,
Yeah.
and maybe that'll help out your take on it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you're right, because the more time you give us, the more we're gonna tear it apart. The more we're
Mhm.
gonna nitpick. The more we're gonna go back, and because I got a whole week with the episode, so it's just under the microscope for a full week, which is a long time, honestly. So like you said, right, I do agree with that. Actually, what I want to do once, I guess, maybe starting next week, I haven't really decided. What I want to do is lead by example, what you just said. And I actually want to go back and rewatch Andor season one.
Yep.
Um, and I want to do, at least like an episode a day, or if I can squeeze in 2 episodes a day, something like that. So I kind of want to, put in the work to, I wouldn't say like force myself to binge watch it, but watch it pretty regularly, like watch it pretty close to each other. So I think that's only gonna help, like you said. And I've been wanting to rewatch season one anyway, because again, we
You
got
gotta
season
prep.
two coming up, right?
You gotta prep for
Yeah,
it.
exactly. And there's some stuff that I remember for sure, but there's some stuff that I'm like, I don't fully remember what happened here. Small details and stuff like that. So I do want to go back and rewatch that. But what is going on, Darth Angel man? Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
Wait a minute. How did this happen? We're smarter than this. Apparently not.
Bro, thank you. Really, really appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you so much. Saying this is the way. Hello, Bunker Bunch. What's going on, brother? So let me catch up here. Archer saying, I think I'm ready for 3 to 4 old school miniseries, or 3 to 4 old school miniseries, or a full 10 to 12 solid episodes. 6 to 8 doesn't allow you to develop enough the story. I agree. Like I said, I'm kind of on a season, right? On a regular season, I'm kind of at the 10, 10 as a minimum, type of thing. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but for example, Bad Batch, what was it, season 2? Man, some of those dragged. All right, and that one was what, 13, 14 episodes? I don't even remember. Maybe 15 actually. And I was like, this could have been like,
A
that
cliff
one
note.
could have
Yeah.
been, yeah, that one could
Yeah.
have been like 8 episodes and be like a banger of a show. Uh, Maybe even 10, right? Because you threw in, here and there a little bit of like goofing off. But man, when they did 13 or whatever it was, I was like, dude, this is just, they're just filling up. They're just meeting the order for episodes. Like I wasn't feeling it. Um,
On this
Again,
episode, Wrecker makes scrambled eggs.
yeah, and like the pod racing episode, like I keep going back to
Yeah.
it, right? Um, while for us prequel kids, right, there is some fun in that, in the overall, right, like story. There's so much going on in the story that I'm like, why are we spending 40 minutes on this? um There you go. Elijah saying Zachary 10 would be a happy median. I think so, at least from what I've seen. Um, but I don't know. So Bismo, thank you. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Um, and their watch party. If you guys want, I'm down for it. Like I said, I want to do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be watching them anyway. So yeah, I'll throw in a live, and whoever wants to pop in, we can watch it. I gotta find out how does it work with Andor. Being a little bit older, can I still probably cannot stream the whole thing, but maybe we can do like little 5-second scenes so that you guys see what I'm looking at and you can sync up if you haven't. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I kind of like that idea, Archer. I might do that. So like I said, I want to see it, and I want to see it in a obviously in a shorter period of time than when it was coming out. Because to me personally, I think that hurt me, my perspective on it, because you're waiting for a whole week and then you just get a bunch of dialogue, great dialogue, don't get me wrong, but then you're like, all right, I kind of wanted more meat
Yep.
on that bone, for this week. So I gotta wait another week for possibly the same. And there was a couple of weeks where that happened. Like there's a couple of episodes there back to back that just not a whole lot of action goes down. So if you're kind of powering through those, you're like, all right, you know what, it's not too bad. Let's move on to the next one. And then the next one, you're like, all right, here's action, right? So you just kind of, like you said, it kind of just eases that way. Archer saying Bad Batch was a roller coaster of emotions. Fire episodes surrounded by terrible episodes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. I don't even want to talk about Cody no more, but y'all know, okay, y'all know. But for example, Asajj Ventress, I mean, banger of an episode, and then nothing, right? Like not no more, yeah, not no connection, not a single, not even a name drop, right, for the rest of the season. So I'm like, come on, guys, like you can't bring give us like everything we've ever wanted in a show, like one episode, and then never acknowledge it again. But yeah. Nerdophilia says, I mean, Watch Party, the first season. Yeah, first season. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes, to clarify, I was also talking about the first season of Andor as a watch party. I'm down for that. Yeah. Second season. Here's my thing. When I've tried to do watch parties of stuff that's coming out, like right now, like live as it's coming out. Let's be honest, guys. Everybody else is also doing, a watch party, so it's a little bit hard, and to get it, to have people in your watch party when there's another 30 of our friends also, right? So and I appreciate all of those of you who actually hop through those, and show a little bit of love at all of them. My hats off to you, because that's actually a lot of work. I've tried to do that, and it's kind of exhausting, and then you end up not even watching the episode proper. But
you're jumping around.
Yeah, exactly. But that's my only thing, and then I don't know about you, Mike. I feel like it always happens to me, like it's like work, like like they know that you got something to do at 8 p.m. and they're like, by the way, for before you leave,
Just real
or
quick.
exactly, just real quick before you leave for today, or before you come in tomorrow, can you? And I'm like, dude, seriously, like you just nuked my afternoon. So it feels like it happens like half of the time when there's a new Star Wars show that I don't get to watch it at drop time, right? Like at whatever that is, 8 or 9 p.m., whatever. I end up watching it at 11, 12 at night, sometimes. So that's the only sort of like thing that I've noticed, phenomenon going on. So that's
I've
another.
been fairly lucky, but there's been a couple of times where it's like, everything good? Y'all
Yeah.
good? I'm gonna boogie out early. I got some
Yeah.
stuff to take care of. I get home. It's like, all right, 20 minutes to the show. Phone rings. Hey, we got this hot thing that we need taken care of. Can you get a PO cut real quick? We need to take care of it. It's like, sure, I guess. And then it's like, this is not quick. Like, I gotta go do research on this. Like, God dang it.
Yeah, I hear you. And then I'll have some sort of major milestone like fall always on a Tuesday or Wednesday for some reason. So whenever there's a new episode, I'm like, come on, man. But yeah. That would be fun. Yeah, man, I'm kind of leaning now towards it now that you brought it up. I'll probably will do that. I need to rewatch Andor because I'm the only one that didn't like it. I don't think you're the only one.
I had my issues with it. I've had my issues with pretty
Same.
much all the shows.
Yeah.
This one so far to me is my least like complaints. Like
Yeah.
we pointed out last episode, there's a few maybe CGI things that were kind of like
Yeah.
rushed through. Obviously the time has been mine, but for the most part, I'm having a lot of fun with it. But same thing with Andor. I was like, that was a great monologue, but did we really need 15 minutes of it?
Agreed. And like I said, and again, I keep getting back to it, right? That's why I want to watch it again, because I feel that a lot of that is gonna disappear
Yeah.
when I already got all the episodes ready to watch for me, like in front of me, right? I was having those kind of issues when I'm like, bro, this is it for a week, like this is all I got for a week. Like, come on, man.
And then also you've already gone through the steps and everything, so
Yeah.
you're not like laser focused in on it. You can actually kind of just relax a little bit. Like, oh
Exactly.
yeah, I know what's about to happen, but you can actually absorb and get more because you're not like dialed into like
Yeah.
every little thing the person's saying or action, or you're trying to see things through a microscope because you're so like narrowed in on it. Now you just kind of relax, let the show roll, eat your
Exactly.
popcorn, have some more fun.
Dude, every time they went to Luthen's store, I was like, oh my Lord. I'm trying not to blink at each one of those scenes. There's so much in that store.
Mhm.
And people did great, like picking it apart. But I will say that's been one that I felt I picked up maybe like 80% of the stuff that was there that people ended up pointing out. With Skeleton Crew, that, what was it, 2 episodes ago when they get to the lair of Captain Renard. I felt like I felt like I only caught like 30% of what was in there. Obviously a lot of it is not directly Star Wars, reference like Luthen's was, so maybe that's where I'm at disadvantage. But there's a ton of Easter eggs in this show for sure. Archer, since they really lost me with the 2 episode of campfire conversations in the first arc of Andor. LOL. There you go. So I'm gonna call you out when I'm having those, when I'm watching those. So episode 8 of Skeleton Crew. How long do you think it's gonna be?
Man, I'm really hoping we get close to that 45-minute mark. Anything less than that, I feel like, one, it's a disservice to the fandom. And then 2, obviously, can you really close up, or not close up, but leave it on a good note going for a season 2, which we're hoping for? Can you really do all that in 23 minutes? And I don't think you can.
Very much so. So if you guys haven't seen the last episode, episode 7, I want to do like a 5-minute, here, a 5-minute like check on sort of what happened, right? So spoilers going forward. If you haven't seen it, we're gonna go real quick through it. I'm just gonna give you like the main points here. So they got their new ship, right? Their new old ship, I guess. They make their way to Atten, but so does the pirates, right? And then they realize that they kind of need that ship, that the kids are on. The secret behind it is that it's an actual Atten ship. So they've disguised it as a pirate ship, right? Or they used it as a pirate ship. So that's how they get in. Now, Jot, sick and tired of playing games, pulls out the lightsaber and, chops off SM-33's, main processing unit, as we can see here. And he's kind of mean, right? He's kind of like, I'm done. I got punched in the face by that droid. Wasn't fun. I'm done playing with y'all. I lost a bunch of pirates, trying to get in here. So let's make it real simple, right? If you guys don't help me get all this money, I'm gonna start, chopping limbs here from your parents, right? Which I'm like, ooh, he went there. He went there.
I'm gonna carve them up. That's what he said.
Exactly, right. And while very menacingly, very Anakin like showing the lightsaber, right, to the younglings. I was like, oh, I'm getting episode 3 flashbacks. I like it. And so that's where we kind of have the climax of the episode, right? So um, all the parents, which were not arrested, by the way, somehow they got taken to the vault. That kind of threw me off. Yeah,
Just slap
exactly.
them.
I'm like, they make it a
You
whole point of you
you
can't.
broke all the rules, but
Yeah, exactly. You broke our most sacred rule, which is not to contact anybody. But you're not under arrest. As a matter of fact, we're gonna give you a personalized tour of where we keep all the trillions of credits, uh, and you're not even in restraints. I was like, dude, what's going on? Anyway, so they get in, right? They get into the vault. Jod, with the help of the ship, right? Apparently, all you need is that chip, and they automatically think you belong to the New Republic, and you're there to pick up a shipment of beautiful, minty, fresh credits, right? The kids, of course, they're conflicted because obviously they want to do something about it, but Jod was pretty clear what would happen, right? If they get between him and his booty. And so here it is, the Fort Knox, one of, what was it, 1,000 others or 100 hours? I forget.
it was the Easter egg in this episode, or one of the Easter eggs in here. There is 1,139
Yes.
volts total. So I think they said that I can't remember if they said exactly that, but meaning that one vault opened, that there's 1,138
138,
left, which is a callback to Lucas there.
Yeah, to THX 1138. So yeah, plenty of credits to go around. Jod is basking in their glory. He still has to get his actual pirate crew, right, that he had just regained, by the way, by offing Brutus pretty coldly, might I add. Pretty
In
cold.
the most cold-blooded, I'm staring you in
Yeah.
the eyes, and now you are unalive
Yeah.
fashion that you could do. Pretty brutal. I don't think we've seen. Well, I don't know. We did see Solo kind of interrupt
Right.
Beckett, when he was giving him his final lesson.
True.
So we've
Yeah,
seen
but
something similar, but this guy was like point blank, staring you in the face. You're completely defenseless. You're not
I was
going to
gonna
get a shot
say.
off at me,
Mhm.
and go to sleep.
Yeah, it wasn't no fair fight at all.
Mhm.
This was like, you know what? Kind of done with you. And this is the surefire way of making sure you don't take my crew again, right? So Brutus is out. So John is in here again, with all the credits. And then
That's a
we
horrible free frame right there. That way you can really see the CGI.
dude,
One.
yeah, I don't know. Again, look at the stuff like at the vault, the door, that looks nice, like some of the details. But when they opened it, right, that initial sequence looks kind of funky too, man. There's some funkiness. There's some like last minute stuff in here, I think.
That's that Bollywood, the stuff they sent out.
They were talking about, yeah, exactly. Gotta how do you call it? Use them offshore assets. They're a lot cheaper. So and this is what I'm talking about. So all of them infringed, the most sacred of Atten rules, and they're not even guarded, bro. They're like there's not even a guard with them. So they're brought in.
If you look like real quick, right before that scene ended, there was actually a wine and cheese tray there.
We're gonna give you this complimentary, and also for a discount to our merch store because you've been so good. Yeah, I don't know. I bumped into, to be honest. But anyway, so the point here is that we get our happy reunion, right? So the kids are back with their parents. They're finally saying their sorries, their hellos, their I'm so glad to see you, all that stuff, and then we get John, right? Just in the back, just very, very how do you call it? Casually, like approaching them. It was like, oh, look at this. This is so cute. I like this.
It had kind of like a we're watching Dexter right now, so I'm giving that kind of
kind of vibe, right?
Yeah, like I'm about to murder y'all, but I'm just gonna chill right here.
Exactly.
And absorb how cute a family you are. Murder, like
yeah, and then we get this, right? So, and I like the music on this. Okay, so that's basically where it ends, right? For us, So so picking up from here, right? He got into the vault. He's got a ship. He's got all the credits he could ever want. Um, where do we go from here, right? How do we wrap up this season, right? Um,
Yeah. Oof. It's
and like you
the
said, right? How do we
vault door
possibly?
is wide open. So
Yeah,
the possibilities here are, to me, they could go really, really far out there and just drop something crazy on us, or they could really just go kind of mild and like, hey, guess what? We're gonna resolve all this in
later.
season 2. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Darth Angel says, please no cliffhangers for last
Yeah.
episode. Yeah, I hope so too, man. But I don't know. Hey, Dart says Zombie. Hey, Zombie says Dart. Archer saying, sounds like you guys have a lot of issues with this episode. This last episode, yeah, there was a few. We
Yeah.
kind of talked about it.
A little bit.
You know, there were a couple of things for sure. Um, not perfect. I wouldn't say perfect, but I think it offset with some of the surprises, let's call them, right? So like SM33 getting taken out, Brutus getting taken out.
And I feel like a lot of our issues came after all that. It was
Yeah,
coming down to the vault. That's when we're like,
yeah,
wait a minute. Why are the parents coming down here all willy nilly with the wine and cheese tray?
exactly. Yeah.
Why is the CGI kind of poopy?
Yeah, why don't they run a face, recognition scan on
Yeah.
a dude that's gonna pick up, a gazillion credits? Like, you're like, oh, you got that ship. Yeah, right, you're cool. Coming in.
Yeah, we know
I'm like,
you. Yeah.
come on, man. Um, yeah, I agree with you. I think this whole last maybe like what is it, seven, five,
Yeah,
7 minutes
somewhere around there.
of the episode. I think that's where I bumped into the most stuff too. Um, I really like the way the pirate frigate looked. I actually enjoyed that kind of
Yeah. Yep.
design with the hangar and everything. I kind of like that. So, speaking of, right, or I hope I should say, we might, I hope that we see some actual pirate action, at at yeah, that sounded weird, but that's right. Um, where I kind of want to see that that pirate mothership get into at and start creating some mayhem, right? So um
So there's a couple of things like I would like to see some, either the pirates or the bounty hunter who's supposed
mhm,
to show up at some point. Um, they have to disable that and expose that Atten fully.
yep,
So I don't know how quickly that's going to escalate from this scene.
true.
But I'm assuming his goal is to get the ship there and just load it up with as much credits as possible. So he's going to have to deactivate that.
I agree. Yeah, so the barrier is still very much functional at this point, right? Again, they only got through because they had a ship that belongs to the planet, right, or that is certified. I think they called it like a Republic emissary or something like that, right? So, um, I, like I said, I kind of do want to see the planet sort of in trouble, right? I want to see the main population like in trouble, like, hey, not everything's as safe as it has been for you guys, right? um I think, like you said, right, I think this opens up the opportunity for a few characters to make a cameo, right, on the last episode. So we can have our favorite, um a Delphi Ranger, we X-Wing pilot exactly coming in. So we can have, you know good old Carson Teva, right, showed up and saved the day. I think that would be cool. Um, and we all know at this point in the story, we got plenty of characters that could make a cameo, right? Anyone from obviously Mando, um, you know, uh, um, I think actually I don't know. Does anybody know exactly the year of Skeleton Crew? Would Ezra be around already? And if not Ezra, um, Ahsoka
Ahsoka.
potentially, right?
Yeah.
So being a
I don't
force,
know if Ezra would be back I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
he's in the timeline, but I don't think
Yeah,
he's
I know
back.
he's in the vicinity of that, but I don't know exactly where this is, in the timeline. Again, if anybody here in the chat knows, let me know. Um,
Luke,
and
I mean,
exactly, I was gonna say, we got
he's
Luke.
he's the bad sheriff of the galaxy. So if there's
Yep,
trouble going down, maybe he shows up.
maybe he shows up, right? Or hear me out here. Since this is a pretty big administrative blunder for the New Republic, how about Leia? How about Leia shows up and lays down the
Yeah.
law, right? That'd be kind of
Le-
cool.
Leia with Hera.
Exactly, right? Hera on board of the Lodestar and just dropping, a bunch of squats like, hey, this is you don't mess with the money, man. So yeah, so like I said, I kind of want a bigger conflict than that, or around that. I mean, obviously we are gonna have to get back to the kids, right? So the kids have to be crucial in resolving whatever the big problem is for this last episode. Whether it is that they stow away on the ship, right, and they gotta somehow sabotage it so that Jod cannot make it out of the barrier, right, with all that money, or that they sabotage, the grid or something like that, so that the pirates don't come in, et cetera, right? Like, I think we can all be in agreement that the kids are gonna take a major role, obviously, right, in solving
Yep.
whatever conflict
And
pops up.
and one thing that I keep on thinking it's got to happen is Jod's going to have the lightsaber. He's going to have it either activated or showing it, and somebody's going to pull that out of his
Oh, dude,
hands.
yes.
Because you have to disarm him, whatever you do. Like somebody's going to have to disarm him. And there's somebody who wants to be a Jedi.
Oh yeah,
Maybe it's not
very badly.
him, but maybe there's somebody in the
There's some.
group.
I was gonna say, imagine it's somebody else.
And I believe that's how he makes his turn to the dark side. Long live Emperor Nil,
Agreed.
as he force grabs it and slices Jod in half.
The
But
true Sith Empire.
I do feel that there's got to be a disarming of that lightsaber to somebody who's going to use it for good. So that's a part of my prediction is we're going to see him lose the lightsaber somehow. I would like to see it done like Force style, maybe not a blaster shot out of the hand, but
Yeah.
Somebody pulls it and like, holy crap, I have a Force. And then on another channel, they were saying, what if he gets locked in the vault? So he's trapped with all the treasure, but he can't do anything with it. With the ultimate story of greed, you're stuck with it. So that could be a potential, but
that could be.
Don't disarm him. We've seen Qui-Gon Jinn stabbed through a door, so you got to take that away from him if you're going to go down that route. So I think he's going to lose the lightsaber somehow.
I think you're right, just because again on this episode, right, on the episode 7, a lightsaber became pretty prominent, right? It became very much
a focal
the focus.
point.
Exactly, and became the point of tension, right? That's how we lost SM-33, which was the main guardian of the kids, right? At this point, and that's literally the closing scene for the episode, right? Like he has it drawn out. So I agree, he has to lose the lightsaber somehow, otherwise, he can do whatever he wants, right? Another thing, and I did hear a few channels talk about this. It was episode 7, the one that Jude Law had previously identified as his backstory episode, right? And we got none of that. I mean, or I missed it if we did. And
I think we just got the only thing that we can take away from it is that he's had a troubled past.
Agreed, right?
Because obviously he's gone down some path of Jedi or Jedi-ish training.
Yeah.
So we know that at some point he was good, for the lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Then he's had some really hard times where those core values of what he was previously taught went out the window to survive. Kind of like we saw like with the Quill from Guardian of the Galaxy. Like he's good in heart, but he's gone through some hard stuff, and the people who raised him weren't necessarily good people.
Yeah,
so
the best.
You want to survive, you kind of got to throw those values out the window. So I think there's some of that, and I think that's kind of what we take away from that. But as far as a true backstory of stuff, which we're still hoping to get a Order 66 flashback.
Oh yeah.
Don't know if we're getting it. If they're only going to give us 23 minutes, I don't think we're getting it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if we're ever going to get a true backstory.
Yeah.
Maybe just a glimpse.
That's what I was gonna say. I wouldn't be too surprised if the opening scene for episode 8 is a little bit of a flashback, right?
Yep.
Now, like you said, would they do full on Order 66? At this point, I'm not sure anymore. I still kind of hope so, but they might, like you said, they might do like a minute, setup where you see Jod training with a Jedi Master. You see him alone in the streets, right? You see him stealing stuff,
Yeah.
and then maybe bumping into a pirate, and then that's it, right? Like we kind of put the pieces together of.
I mean, if Disney wants to hire me, the easiest way to do is to show him kind of huddling, laser blast going off. He's crying. He's in traditional Jedi robes, and he gets grabbed by somebody. They yank him out. He wasn't at the temple. He was off in another,
yeah, exactly.
Some area where a pirate grabs him and takes him to rescue him because it was a good pirate.
Yep.
And so he was raised a pirate. So if you do 3 minutes of that, wham bam, thank you, ma'am. There's the backstory that we need to kind of tell us. Oh, he was a Padawan. He got ripped out of that lifestyle. He got raised as a pirate, and that's the way he is. So, I mean, if Disney needs to hire me, I'm available. Just
absolutely.
shoot me an email.
Yeah, right. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if that good pirate was somebody that we've been sort of missing in this show?
I'm not saying I write gold, but
I don't like to overuse the word hero, but sometimes it just applies.
It does.
But so that could be a very nicely way to give us what we want and yet not commit to anything more than that. Because like, hey, he's here, but in the past, right? So you saw
wanted
him.
it. You
exactly.
got it.
You saw him. You heard him, and now he's gone. Right, like off into. We don't know if he's around. We're not gonna say one way or the other. He was around at that point when we showed you. That's all you know, right? Moving on. So I'm just saying, wouldn't it be? I think in a sense, it even actually makes sense, right? To not overuse him right now. Just give us that nice intro.
Just do
Exactly.
the
Yes. With the live action right here, he is. He sounds just like you think he should sound. He looks good,
and that would fit the timeline, I believe, right? Because he was in
he was
Clone
around.
Wars, so he could be
he's
possibly
around.
helping the Jedi.
Exactly, he's around for Rebels, right? So we know he made it out of the whole Empire, Rise of the Empire era, right? So he made it many years after that. We don't know until when, so we don't know that for this timeline, right after Return of the Jedi. But I mean, it's Hondo, so he's a survivor, if nothing else, right? So let me catch up here with the chat, and it says, Nerfin says, I still have a theory about one last twist, but I'll keep it out of the chat. I'll tell you about it, Kenobi. Yes. I vividly remember this. Darth Angel says Jude Law was awesome. I think he did a good job. And Archer did say, I admit I enjoyed Jude Law going back. Yeah, right. That was kind of fun. I'm not
It was
gonna
a
lie.
good twist. It was a good twist.
Yeah. So Nerdaffiliated says Google says this show takes place in 9ABY, so after the Battle of Yavin. So that is actually, just before Mando season 2, season 1, maybe even. Interesting. Hello there. What's going on, Rolando? Welcome, brother. Appreciate you joining, man. Thank you. Humphrey Bear says, who wins, Jude or the kids? Oof. I would say kind of the way the show has been going, probably the kids. I think probably the kids. I'm sure Jude or Jod is going to win in a manner of his true goodness, right? Will surface up to the top. He will see the error of his ways and, therefore become that much better of a person for it. So maybe they both win in that sense.
And the ultimate twist, he just force chokes all of them,
I
and
know,
guess
right?
what? No season 2.
Yeah. So he force pushes all of these, into this cliff right here, and then that's it. And scene.
Scene done.
Exactly. Imagine. Oh my lord. That would actually, I'll be like, you know what, Disney, my head's off to you for pulling that off. I'll be like, I did not see that coming. Rolando saying hi to basically everybody here in the chat. Appreciate you, Rolando. Thank you, brother. Rolando says Elijah. Dart Angel says Rolando. Hale says Humphrey Bear. Any leaks or spoilers for number 8? Not that I've seen, but I do make it a point to not seek them out. Right? I don't normally deal with leaks or spoilers for the most part.
We
There
don't read the
was
script until after the show's over. Even though they mail it 6
exactly.
months in advance, we like to
Yeah,
be surprised.
even if we get copies of it all the time. There was a bit of rumors going on today regarding the Mando and Grogu movie. That one was pretty unavoidable. As soon as I opened anything, that's the first thing I saw. So yeah, it was kind of like, it's just one of those that you can't. I mean, you can if you completely stay off of social media, right?
Is it
but
believable though? Because
I think
sometimes they do throw decoys out there.
exactly. I was gonna say, right. This could be very much a Plo Koon type of situation, right? Like if you guys remember for Mando season 2, the big rumor was that Plo Koon was gonna show up, and we got something I would consider to be better, in my personal opinion. But it was seeded, right? Like it was purposely sort of passed on, down the grapevine, so that we all sort of looked that way while they were doing something else over here.
Did they? I got to go back and look, but did they release his lightsaber around the time frame of when the season was going to start?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
a
There
lot of
was
people latched onto that of like,
oh yeah,
why would they have merchandise? That doesn't make
exactly.
sense.
Yeah, and then to make it, even more, because I remember seeing this behind the scenes for it. Somebody actually posted the like a mask of a Keldor, right? And it was like in one of the prop shops, of the stage, right, of the prop stage for the show, and it was kind of like off to the side, and yet kind of pretty visible at the same time, right? So it wasn't front and center, but it was like, oh, we see it, right? So it was those little things, right, that they were breadcrumbs that they were leaving us to nothing, because they were deceiving us completely. So it could happen, right? Nerdophilia says I have an Excel sheet. Yes, you do. Love those, by the way. Zombie saying hi to Rolando and Bear. Nerdophilia says, according to my Google sheet, Mando meets Grogu in 9 ABY. Yeah, there you go. That's why I was like, it's
pretty.
It's early on for
yeah.
Mando. Yeah, it's early on for Mando. Hey everyone, just stop to say hi. Appreciate you, Josue. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, look at this, Brian. What is going on, brother?
Wait a minute. How did this happen? We're smarter
Thank
than
you.
this.
Thank you so much for the
Apparently
super
not.
chat. Saludos, hermano. Brian with the super chat coming in, man. Really appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Zombie saying hi to Josue and Brian. Archer says, Rolando, I'm pretty sure he meant Rolando, is the GOT that he is. Thank you, says the Bat Vader. Absolutely, Rolando saying hi to Brian and Josue. So, I think, let's see. Do we think that Jod makes it out alive out of this next episode?
I'm going to lean towards yes, but I would not be surprised if one, he's locked in the forever tomb of the vault, or we actually see him take the forever nap, the Brutus, whatever we want to call it. I believe he won't, but I won't be surprised if it happens.
Agreed. I lean same thing, right? While I do remember before the show started, Jude Law was obviously the main draw of this show, right? By far. but man, now these kids, dude, these kids have done a really good job. So
I think
now I kind
walking
of,
into it, I was like, Jude Law's setting the bar here. These
yeah,
kids have got a long way to go. And now I feel like they're pretty much on par, um, individually and as a team. The way that they work
yeah,
together as actors, I
very
think
true.
they've matched up. Now, obviously, Jude Law's a big name and he's got a lot
Oh
of,
yeah,
under his belt. But I believe I don't know if it's because he was there, the directors, I don't know what it is, but everybody to me is at a very high level, and the execution of the show has been great. So
yeah.
my hat's off to everybody a part of this production, because it's thus far been very enjoyable, and we'll dare say a slam dunk.
There you go. Yeah, right. Of course, it could all go horribly wrong with that last episode, right? And it all comes falling apart.
Push.
But
See y'all
yeah,
later.
you're right, exactly. Um, but what I was gonna say is, I don't feel the absolute need to have Jot there in
Yep.
the next season, right? Uh, I like the character so far. He's been fun. Again, Jude Law, obviously amazing actor. He's done an incredible job at it. So would I like him to be around? Yeah, for sure. I think at least one more season, and then maybe at the end of next season, right? That's when he's like, I gotta, I'm gonna have to sacrifice myself, for the kids. I'm gonna have to, um, how do you call it? Make a choice here, between uh good and evil. I'm gonna choose evil at this point because that's all I've known pretty much all my life. And then something goes wrong, right? Something like that, right? Like I can see him at the end of season 2 being like, all right, now I'm out.
I'm definitely gonna get that hero's redemption vibe where he puts it all on the line. And I think it's way too soon to try to pull it off in this
Yeah,
last episode. But I mean, I could see them trying to make it really like make a hard dash towards it, and maybe leave it on that. Like, ooh, did he die? Did
yeah,
he make the ultimate sacrifice? And then leave that going into season 2, where ultimately we find out, oh well, he took a hit but didn't die. But it shows that he's a good guy, so we kind of forgave him because on that Atten, there's no consequences. We just slap you on the wrist.
pretty
Um,
much, right? And
so
cheese
there
tray.
could be something like that, and cheese, yeah, and have some cheese.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, wouldn't it be a little bit of fun? Here's my sort of out there, right, prediction for it. If he does get his redeeming moment, right? And lo and behold, he decides to enroll in one Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy, right? Only to be, you know, turned to ash a few years later, right? By a pretty ticked off nephew there. But hey, I'm just saying, it'd be kind of fun. It'd be kind of fun to
It
see
could happen.
him, um, begrudgingly basically question every single instruction that Luke gives him, because Luke is younger than him, right? At this
Mhm.
point. So I don't know. I kind of want to see that. I kind of want to see that for like one episode of them just butting heads, at every turn. So yeah, that's my kind of out there prediction. We're gonna see Jod join Luke's academy. So there
Now,
we go.
so one thing that I don't think it's too out there, but there's going to be a lot of stuff that needs to happen to make the tissue connect here. Do you know how much money it takes to start up a brand new empire?
Yeah, no kidding.
Some may say the first order.
Order.
So I believe the planet's going to get exposed, and people are going to be like, Johnny Manziel, there's some money up in here. We need to go get this, and we need to secure it to create a new empire. So it costs a lot of money, and there seems to be quite a bit of money just hanging out. And I think you have some connective tissue of exposing the planet. It's out there now that, holy crap, it's real. This place
Yeah.
is a gold mine. There's remnants of certain groups out there. There's people that are willing to maybe start up this new empire. There's going to be struggles and battles for this cash cow, which I think ultimately leads us down that path, which you're saying, we could see some training going on.
Yeah, right.
So there could be some connective tissue. I think we're gonna get some.
Yeah.
That money's got to go somewhere. It don't just disappear. So the only thing that we know in the future that costs a lot of money would be a brand new empire.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. Maybe we get somebody like Hux to show up. He's around. We saw him in Mando season 3. Sorry, the Shadow Council. Maybe one of those guys makes a play for all the credits, right?
This new empire was made on old money.
Yeah, exactly, right. Let's see. We got notification that says I'm going to Hail Mary prediction. Let's go. 1, the Solos show up, or 2, Palpatine returns. There you go. That's kind of in line
Somehow.
with yeah, right. Somehow. Nobody knows how. Zombie says, how many credits to start up a new empire? Not money. What? How many credits to start up a new empire? Okay. Nervin says, I don't think the empire has to rob the planet because I'm pretty sure it's theirs. I think it was theirs, and then they sort of lost it, right? Now, would did the was it always at Aten? I don't know if it was also from the time of the Old Republic through the Empire into the New Republic, right? Has it been operational as a mint, all throughout, I don't know, 100, 200 years? I'm not too sure. They did mention, 100 years in one of the lines, right? But I don't know if that is accurate.
So we know that the kids were oblivious to the wars, right? So I'm going to assume that the Old Republic has been their guideline as far as this is who we operate under. So anything beyond that, they're oblivious to. So once the veil falls, the planet's exposed, they're going to be free game to whoever can get there first and take them over. So as of right now, we have the New Republic, but we know that they're not, a powerhouse, that they still got their struggles.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see what happens. We're guessing here. There's a lot of stuff that could happen, but all I know, if you look at what we have, there's a ton of money, and a new empire shows up, which obviously takes, because everything they got is 10 times bigger than what the empire had.
Yeah,
their ships are bigger, their troop count is bigger. Project Necromancer has been fully evolved. Like that's money right there too, right?
That takes a lot of exactly. That takes a lot of credits for sure. But yeah, it would definitely be interesting, to see if one of our known Imperial, buddies show up and to try to claim it, right? That could be a fun way to end it. But again, cliffhanger, right? I see it happening though, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how much of the outside world, right, actually finally maybe comes into this last episode, right? Like how wide are the doors open, right? Because right now we got pirates right there in orbit, right? Or just outside of the barrier. So, again, does the New Republic show up? Does the Imperial Remnant show up? Does the First Order or, beginnings of the First Order show up? Does the Mandalorian show up? The bunch of bunny hunters show up, right? Does a Maverick Jedi, show up? Again, we got plenty of options of who can actually pop in, right? At this point in the story. So, but obviously they've been keeping things pretty self-contained, right? For this show, haven't really gotten big cameos or anything like that, not yet. So again, I'm just kind of wondering if they're gonna try and pull an acolyte, right? And that last episode, you're like, oh, here's this guy. Oh, here's this guy. Oh, here's also this, right? Maybe again, I'm sure they gotta play it so that audiences are like, I kind of want to see what happens. I hope we get a next season.
Definitely, yeah. You definitely gonna play it close to the chest here.
Yeah.
The only thing that I do know is Harrison Ford is not making an appearance in the show. That's the only thing I do know.
Yeah. Imagine if that's not right. Ooh.
Oh, dude,
buddy.
I heard there's some money here.
Exactly. Star Wars Gent in the house. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you joining, man. Thank you. Hello there, my peeps. What's going on, man? Hey, Gent, says Rob. What's up, zombie?
I read that.
Nerd affiliated says this conversation is more exciting than the show. LOL. Of course, that's what we do here on the Tortuga Talk. For the last time, again, probably for this year, right? The last time we're gonna meet like this to talk about the Skeleton Crew. We'll cover, of course, once the episode drops. We'll cover, some of the stuff that went on and stuff like that. But here is our again. This is like our little sandbox, right? This is our play and trying to guess what will happen. Plenty of stuff that can happen. Obviously, we have the timeline, right? Is ripe for 20 different cameos if they really
Yep.
wanted to. But again, also the way the show has been sort of carrying itself, it's pretty isolated, right? It's fairly isolated. I think the biggest connective tissue that we've gotten is the X-wings. I think that's kind of about the only thing that sort of popped out. The banking clan, I think that was kind of a cool, uh, not throwback, but connection to sort of like the prequels, right?
The droids, seeing the droids that were kind of in that can't remember episode 3 or 4 where they're still
Very
on
true.
Tortuga, and it showed a kind of range of all the droids kind of like throughout the series.
Yeah.
Obviously my favorite was seeing the Roger. Did we win? Like,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
pretty
That
funny.
that other one, and I'm forgetting his call name right now, but Prince Sixor's droid. I thought that was kind of cool. It's like, oh, the prince is in danger. Where is the
Mhm.
prince? Like, I was like, oh, what? So hey, shout outs with the Empire. But yeah. So again, there's plenty of possibilities for a mix of cameos, right? Um, I don't know. We'll see which one they go for, if any, right? We'll see how much time they give us with the last episode. Again,
Do
I think
you
we're on this.
think we need a bigger cameo? Like, are
That's
we good with a small cameo of like a smaller character, or do
Yeah,
we
that's what I
need
was gonna
that
say.
big
I think
cameo?
I think at this point, and again, just because sort of the way the show has carried itself, right? I think we would be good with a cameo that makes sense, right? And what I mean by that is somebody that's tied to the New Republic, right? In the administrative, like I said, it's sort of like in the internal affairs type of thing, and or a pirate. Which again, I know the obvious choice is Hondo, right? And I agree, but in theory, he's not the only pirate, right? So there could be somebody else. We haven't seen Captain, Renard. So who is he or she or it, right? Um, they obviously on purpose didn't show his face, right? So or her face again, could be either. Um,
Was that
so
a
maybe
cameo surprise or a budget restraint?
that exactly right. That too. But so there's a few things that I'm totally okay with because they make sense, right? Again, there we can stretch this out and we can have Palpatine show up, right? We can have Thrawn show up. We can make sense of a lot of them just because they're in that timeline, right? Now, would it make sense for the stranger to show up in this episode? Probably not a whole lot, right? But again, we got a plethora of characters that does make sense just because of the timeline. um, and like you said, right, we're talking about a big resource here, credits. So everybody needs credits, right? Whether you're Mandalorian, Empire, New Order, or First Order, Old Republic, New Republic, whatever it is, even Jedi, right? Honestly, that everybody needs that money, so they all could have
We
an
see
interest,
a cybernetic hand grab
right?
a banged up golden saber and turns
Yes.
it on, and that purple blade comes up,
Oh, dude.
and they don't
Uh,
even show it, just show the hand, right?
exactly. Don't even show anything. Yeah. Yeah. So he bleeds the kyber to make it purple. It's like I gotta have my purple blade, man.
Mhm.
um, but yeah, that's it's I think it's gonna be fun. It has been fun pretty much every episode. One, some more than others, obviously. Um, and I don't know, man. I don't think we're gonna get a big long episode. I think maybe like 30 minutes, like close to that. Um, I don't think it's gonna be enough. But like I said, I'm more inclined to say that there's going to be a lot more spectacle, a lot more action, in this last episode. And again, we know that costs money, so they probably won't get, to like an hour long episode. I
I
hope
don't
I'm
think
wrong
it's.
because
I typically when like season finales come up, it's heavily promoted. The 2 hour season finale coming up, like they
yeah, right.
always mention like, hey, guess what? You're getting extra because it's the season finale or the extra long. Like they haven't said anything like that. They haven't alluded to a longer time. So the max I'm thinking is that 45-minute range,
Yeah, yeah,
and I'll be really upset if it's 30 minutes
yeah,
or less.
or less. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or less, like 20. What was that? Like 21 minutes. I think we got one in one of these. There was like super short.
Super short. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Apparently, the shows we've gotten take place in 9 ABY. So Throne showing up isn't out of the realm possibly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can make a lot of stuff fit, at this period of time. Also, Kylo is 5 at this point, so the Jedi Academy thing is doable. Hey, I'm telling you, bro.
Yep.
I'm down for that. Captain T will be cool with a small squadron of X-wings. Yes, and again, I think that makes a lot of sense because there's an outside threat right now with the pirates. So you're gonna need an outside solution because
We didn't see the second pilot either. When he
Exactly.
landed to speak to the owl, it was some random
Exactly.
guy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe he is already there, like in
Yeah.
the area.
Yeah, he could be his new wingman, for all we know. Flex saying hi to Gent. Gent saying hi to Flex. Yes, I would like to see Tiva for sure. I think we might. Nothing screams Star Wars like some X-Wings. Just saying. Hey, I enjoyed when they came out. Also, again, I just want to reiterate, this show gave us new X-Wings. All right. So that's not an easy feat. And, I'll take it. And I'm going to buy, the vehicle once it comes out. Like
the next
like a
wave that
sucker
comes
that I
out.
am.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a done deal. So true, my man, says Star Wars Gender Fan says technically Mace could show up. He'd be 81. It's all right. It's Mace,
Right.
Left Coast Graphics in the house. Almost 1 hour confirmed by showrunners. I hope so, man. I hope that's not 1 hour with behind the scenes documentary. Hey Rick says Rob Zombie says Rick. Thank you guys. Appreciate Joel. But yeah, there you have it. Overall, many things can happen. There's a lot to wrap up, right? There's a lot to sort of wrap up. Obviously they'll wrap up a lot of stuff and they'll leave open plenty of stuff, right? Because that's kind of just how you got to do it.
I think that's the MO for a lot of shows is
Absolutely.
Your direction is to always leave it open
Yeah.
for spinoff or season next number.
Yep.
So I think we're not going to get everything in a pretty bow. There's going to be some definitely open ends. And currently the way we're thinking, I think it could be open ends to anything really.
Yeah.
Like you're just going to leave it open for anybody to come in and be like, we'll carry the mantle for the next, pirate show, or
Exactly.
hey, we're going to go and figure out what's happening with the First Order. Like, there could be tons of different directions. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, again, plenty of options, plenty of connective tissue that's, very possible, right, to happen this last episode. But again, contained to the characters within the episode. I know the kids are going to be front and center of whatever, like I said, whatever conflict pops up. I think Jod is not going to get, he's not going to be very happy by the end of the episode. Like you said, he's either going to be trapped with a bunch of money that he can't spend, or he's going to be by himself again, probably in a cell or a dungeon. Or, which I kind of picture this, he gets, kind of like the Pirates of the Caribbean ending for the first one, I think, where it's just him in a little like rowboat, remember? But he's got the map. So like something like that. Like you
Yeah.
see him in like an escape pod by himself, like again all over, um, down to nothing. But he's got a little recording with the coordinates to Atten or something like that. Like
Or
or
I forget the Renner saying,
exactly.
I stashed another planet worth of treasure and
Yeah.
so and so. And he's like, well,
Exactly.
time for a new adventure.
Yeah, exactly, right. So I think that'd be kind of in line with the pirate, obviously,
Yeah.
motif that we got going on. So I wouldn't mind
Or
something like that.
the worst, he's next to Brutus.
Yes, right. Pretty much, and he hits a laser bolt, through the eye. So we'll see. We'll see. We've seen kind of a bit of that, here in this episode or in this show. I mean, very first episode, that remember that alien just
Yeah.
eats it right in the eye.
It
Oof.
doesn't even flinch. He's just
No,
right
he's
in the
like,
face.
he's like, "Da-da-da-da." I'm like,
Yeah, don't worry, I
damn.
got
Right.
6 more.
Yeah, right. And then we see him getting it all sort of like patched up. Yeah, dude, that was gnarly. I like that. Um, but yeah, we'll see. Again, I do expect a lot more action on this last episode. Um, and yeah, we'll see if we get a big old cliffhanger, right? Or if they, like we said, right, if not so much of a cliffhanger, but they set up, okay, we wrapped up this adventure, but here's an inkling of the start of the next one, right? Like type of thing. So before we leave today, I just want to remind you guys to check us out on social media. We got Mike over at the Dad Vader on Instagram. Make sure you're following him. We are also on Instagram at general.kenobis.bunker and Instagram adjacent on Threads at general.kenobis.bunker. We are also on Facebook, General Kenobis Bunker, all one word. And for now, I think we got like a week left, if I understood
Mhm.
the email correctly. We're still on TikTok at general_Kenobis_bunker. Go check us out over there if you haven't, because apparently you got like a week before they pulled the plug on TikTok. So,
Just when I figured out a
dude,
few
yeah,
things.
exactly. This is when I was finally getting some traction again. Nope, you get nothing, sir, and you will like it. So yeah, please don't forget also to hit that like button here on the stream before you exit, just to let the mythical YouTube algorithm know that we are doing good. Go catch up on Skeleton Crew if you haven't. You still got time. You got 22 hours now before the season finale, drops. So that's gonna drop tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central. I don't know what that means for other time zones because I don't know them by heart. But check your local listings with Disney Plus. So thank you so much for hanging out here with us. I think we got some pretty good theories. I think we are. I think we are getting ourselves, an invite to that writer's room for next show.
Oh yeah.
Pretty sure about that one. So Zombie saying, see you everyone. Appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for joining. Smash that like button, says Archer. Zombie says, see ya, everyone. In chat to Star Wars Gens. Have a good evening, everyone. Night, guys and gals. That is absolutely right. And with that, we bid you good night, sleep tight, and let's enjoy Jod's redemption or execution. I don't know, we'll see. It can go either way, right? So thank you again for joining us, guys, and go watch Skeleton Crew tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central. May the force be with you. Oh, Neil Dan Tiara here on Wednesday, 8:30. Well, check out our socials. We'll be announcing them there. Okay, now, good night.